If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It's the Player One Sim Gear and Everything Simulated FDL's SFL Sprint Season 3, Round 1 at the Bend. I'm JP. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Tom Cairns here this evening. Is going to come along the ride for the first one, and then I'll be back to be joined by Mr. Ewan O'Leary. But thank you for everybody for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells, and you will be notified every time we go live. Well, let's bring you up to schedule for this season once again here as well. And ladies and gentlemen, you are in for an absolute treat here this season as well. We're off to the Bend, then we go to Road Atlanta, Road America, Detroit, Imola, Fuji, Bathurst, and we finish off the season at the home of British Motorsport at Silverstone once again. So looking forward to this one. Should be an interesting one. Some changes. Well, qualifying still going to be 15 minutes. We're going to have a 45-minute race. Fuel, that's the biggest change. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're only starting fuel with 15 litres. Which will basically give them a fuel cap of about 46%, which will be 21.1 litres of fuel for the race. Total fuel required is 43. So, will it give us 2 stops, or is somebody going to try a 1-stopper? Well, we're going to find out very, very shortly. We've got returning gold championship winner from last season, Scotty Bartain. He's back. Phil Vella's back here as well. And then in the silver class, it was Will Ryan who won the championship. And guess what? He's been promoted up to gold as well for his joys of winning the silver championship as Will Ryan. So we're going to find out how he's going to get on partaking with the big boys. The Bend itself, well, we're on the international circuit, so it's 3.076 miles, 4.95 kilometers in length, and we've got 18 turns for these drivers to contend with. Came out at the end of basically last season, or the beginning of this season of iRacing, so it's not very old at all. So let's see who's done the practice, who hasn't done the practice. It's that new, we don't even have a track map for it in our timing software as of yet. I'm sure it will come along currently here at the moment. We are into qualifying at this moment in time as well. You can see on the left hand side some of the qualifying times that are taking shape here. 1:35.830 for Mr. Danny Davidson. So let's see how they get on here again. Now listen, you listen to me waffle on. Let's bring Tom into the booth. Tom, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Hi James, hello to everyone down under, wherever you are, as we arrive here at the Bend for the opening rounds of the new season of FDL. Really looking forward to this one. See over 30 drivers tackle this 18-corner racetrack. And, well, considering we've got a variety of formats over the course of the season with features and sprints, and of course that 60-minute finale at the end of the campaign, it should be fun.
Yeah, it definitely should be. I think it's going to make it very, very interesting indeed. I think to see how these guys get on is going to be very, very exciting as well. As you say, with the multiple mix of calendars that's going to take shape this season as well, and then the multiple mix of, how can I put it, sort of formats I think it's going to make it very, very interesting. As you say, we do have 38 cars on there as well. Driving me sane. Let's go, Matty T, with Tommy in YouTube chat as well. Thanks so much for joining us. The Bend. What do we know? We don't, to be honest, I didn't really know it existed until it came out within iRacing a couple of weeks ago.
Well, this was something I thought Formula One were sort of half thinking about going to, but no, Melbourne's got the contract for the long term. But this circuit, I have to say, I've not seen too much of it, but I do like the look of the layout with like the hairpins and the long pit straight towards turn one. I do think we're going to see some genuine overtaking opportunities, James, because it's very slow, these corners. Of course, it's fast flowing, so we expect a lot of the fuel to be consumed over the course of this, hence why we could well be seeing 2 stops over the course of this 45-minute feature, which is going to spice up the racing for absolutely sure. And as we enter the final few minutes, we've got Danny Davison, who's fastest on a 1:35, and not too far ahead of Scott Bartain. I'm looking at the gap between the whole field, or I could say maybe those within a second, the top 28 within a second of the fastest time.
Yep, just goes to show the quality. We've got the gold and the silvers back as well. Obviously, they are the classes that the drivers are allocated to. So we'll see who can get on here as well. We've got people in RC, Mr. Jimmy Peacock, Ben Faulkner and Lachlan Cappy are in RC this evening. So we'll see how they go. See who everybody's been a naughty boy or if they're not. That's why RC is going to be here at the same time. So it's going to make it very, very interesting. Now, we do think there is a remote chance of a one-stop strategy, but it will only happen, Tom, if we get a safety car.
Which we don't often see safety cars in a lot of championships, but we do get the safety cars in this one. And, well, if the safety car does come out, then that's going to change the whole strategic element of how this race could get decided. When all the cars are together and fighting for position, that's when things can get really, really, really spicy. And it becomes a lottery, because if you end up in someone else's incident and you are running at the top end, that's your race compromised big time.
Yeah, it is. Mark Hilly's just about to go over the line. He's got some greens on the board as well. Jumps himself up into 5th. You can see Scotty Bartain there, last season's championship, still sitting down in 2nd. No improvements from him. Charles Bray down in 22nd place at the moment. He's got some improvements on the board as well. Is he going to jump up? Nope, he's going to stay where he is. What about old TD? Is he going to move at all, Mr. Thomas Donoghue? Nope, stays in 16. No real improvements anymore. Phil Vella's back once again. He's out on the racetrack. Craig Edwards is there. Dougie Gowans down in 14th has got some improvements on the board as well. He's coming around the final corner here. Let's see how he gets on. I was sitting here the other day and I watched a race here in, I think it was GT3s. And let's just say that Porsche, as Dougie Gowans goes into 13th, the Porsche GT3 did not like the uphill corner of the final corner. Now, it was basically due to the fact it was uphill over the crest, and if you accelerated on the crest, unfortunately it went a little bit wrong for you. It'll be interesting to see how these guys get on, especially going into the fact that we've got the 45 minutes with the tyre wear, whether or not there's going to be any issues around this track.
Well, you mentioned the fact that the last corner being uphill. I'm not sure. I would need to have a look at that corner again, because the one corner that comes into mind at another circuit is turn 8 of Portimao. Now, those who have played the F1 game itself, they'll know how notoriously difficult it is to nail the apex without the car spinning round. So we'll see
that's the final corner.
There it is, yeah. So it's not quite the undulation of Portimao.
It's this one. So it just kind of dips up, and then your uphill crest in the corner. So that was what was catching out some of the GT3 drivers in the Porsche. It was just the uphill of it on that one. TD goes over the line. Jason Madden, he's got some greens on the board as well, but he's all the way down in 30th. He stays, oh no, he moves himself up into 22nd. Great job from him. Brody McConkey has gone and done that. I would probably say that's not the best way of handling that corner. Jackson Rayana is here as well. People have noticed, if you haven't, we've got Mr. Harrison Dusky on the race circuit as well. Harrison has moved into, I believe it was F4 this season, Tom, after finishing off karting last season as well. So we've got a real life racing driver here once again.
Yes, we do. And let's hope he succeeds in his junior form, as we may well see him on the European stage soon enough. So that'll be a name I'll keep a good eye out for in the years to come.
Absolutely. Dave Roberts is just about to come over the line as well. Qualifying has just finished. Is Dave going to move himself up from 19th at the moment? 1:36.377. He improves on his time, but doesn't actually go anywhere. Bruce Kelly, he moves himself up into 34th. No real improvements on the back end of qualifying. Drivers that have gone over the start-finish line before the timer ran out and didn't complete their lap as well. So there's a couple more people out on the race circuit. Giuliano Sinesi is out on the racetrack as well. But at the moment, Danny Davison and Darren Fahey are the leaders of classes. Tristan McLaren's out on track. Scotty Bartain stops. No real improvement for him. Jackson Rayana has put himself into second place currently at this moment in time. Ethan Morris is another one still out on the racetrack here once again. I'm going to find this going to be very, very interesting to see how some of these guys handle this one. A couple of people now finishing off. Ethan goes into pit lane. Mr. Welsh, what do? You're going very slowly. I don't see you making an improvement. Tristan McLaren, however, is still out there pushing the limits of that everything simulated racing machine as well. Big shout out to them for coming on board with Player One Sim Gear as a title sponsor, of course supported by Capstone Marketing and Print Racer, who are back again this season as well. So great job from all of these guys. Thank you so much for coming on board, sponsoring this season. Should be a very, very exciting one indeed, especially with the 15-30 minutes coming up at Road Atlanta. There's a couple of other ones that have got the 15 and 30 minutes as well. Fuji, Detroit, and then Silverstone will be the hour-long finale at the end. Surely, though, Tom, that's definitely going to mix it up with the change of formats.
Sure, but Phil Feller, who qualified third, is going to be starting from the pit lane because he's been given a qualifying impeding penalty. So he will start at the pit lane, I would have thought.
Oh, Phil Valley, a naughty little boy. Right, here's the grid for the first opening race of the season. Danny Davidson is on pole with Jackson Rihanna. Phil Vella, as we said, is going to be in pit lane. Scotty Bartain, Ethan Morris, Harrison Dusky, Mark Hilly, Dylan DeBono, Danny Ackland and Daniel Byrne leading the top 10 with Craig Edwards and Giuliano Sinesi in 12th place. Moving on is Dougie Gowans, Aidan Coote, Jamie Welsh, Darren Fahey, then who's going to lead Silvers. Then we've got Tristan McLaren, Tom Donoghue, Dave Roberts, Jay Dixon, Marcus Knitzer, James Madden, Charles Bray and Brandon McConkey down in 24th. Peter Ziedler, Alex Stevens, Will Ryan, Scotty Pocock, Matt Tessera, Adrian Loretti rounds out the top 30. Then Robillard, Bottrell, Todd Parks, Bruce Kelly and Nathan Verney with Quid Swadlin towards the back end. And then Andrew Linden and Damien Cairns down in 38. Any relation, Tom, to Damien?
No, not quite. But I do know... but there is a city called Cairns in the state of Queensland.
Ooh.
That's something that's always stuck with me.
Okay, mate. Well, let's see what goes on here once again. Let's see how this, whether or not this is going to work. And hopefully all of these guys will be able to make it through without any dramas. That's going to be the question. Can we get through this without any problems at all? Well, we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, very, very shortly to get on to the grid once again here before we can get the opening race of the season up and running. Season 3, believe it or not, as well. I did lose seasons at one point. I had to message Tom. I was like, are we on season 3? He was like, yes, James, we are on season 3. I was like, okay, God, they've gone quick from when we started back in season 1. The Mr. A. Wiley, I'm going to put it on. Let's Go Brody is put in YouTube chat as well. So let's see how they get on here. Once again, you can see all the cars. Car 222, no further action for him on that one. As we can see, race control messages popping up. How's the track temp? Do we know? We do know, yes. The track temperature at this moment in time, as you can see on the right hand side of your screen there, it is dry, but it's only 20, I believe it's 21 degrees currently at the moment here as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out and see if that's going to make any difference towards them, obviously, with tyre usage. So There you go. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and people of all ages, hold on to your hats because we're going to be up and running very, very shortly. Just waiting for Phil Vella to get on to the line as we're going to get the lights up now. Obviously, Vella's in pit lane. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages. We've got the 5 lights. The opening round of the season is green, green, green. Danny Davidson got off the line there. Jackson Rihanna, Scotty Bartain and Harrison Dusky all leading the top floor down into turn 1 currently at the moment in time. You can see 3, 4, 5 wide further back. Big old snap there as well. You've just seen that from Jackson Rihanna, who's gone flying off the side of the circuit. But Danny Davidson, Harrison Dusky and Mark Healy have all gone through there. I've got a funny feeling, Tom, that was the biggest dose of internet I've seen for ages.
That was very bizarre. I don't know how they came together. It'd be interesting to get a replay on how they actually collided because it looked like wheel to wheel. But now we're looking at Dylan De Bono to the outside here. He's having to go defensive here. Well, that looks like, is that Byrne coming through? Is that Morris? So that might be Morris is coming through or sort of trying to switch back. But it looks like De Bono has got that covered up. And now, as they enter what I believe is turns 7 and 8, that there is a hairpin that they'll be going through very, very shortly, or maybe they've gone past the hairpin already. That tells you about how complicated this circuit is, James.
Yeah, absolutely. They're on the run now as well. Danny Byrne sitting down there at the moment. There's been more drama further back as well. But we will have a look at this one at the same time. Through the left-hander we go. Now into that long double left. That's 14 and 15. It's going to be a right-hand kink through turn 16. Then on the run down into 17, you see the grandstand on the right-hand side waiting to accept these guys very, very shortly. Through the right-hander we go, now into the final corner. Who's going to be able to make this clear? Who's going to be able to make this through? Is Dusky at the moment sitting up behind back of Danny Davidson. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hold on to your hats. Which way is Dusky going to go? He's gone to the left-hand side. There's Danny Davidson there just going past us. Dusky's going to have the inside for turn number 1. Believe Dusky's going to make it through. He's going to take the lead of the race. There's more dramas. Jackson Rihanna, I don't know what is going on with him, but he has had an absolute rotten race. Scotty Bartain is also off the racetrack. Jamie Welsh, Alex Stevens, all in pit lane. We'll catch up with some of the incidents from turn number 1. I just want this literally to play out for another couple of laps here, Tom, before we start running through, because Davidson at the moment is under pressure from Mark Healy here. It's going to be interesting to see if he can hold on.
Well, he's having to go defensive into the hairpin there. Now he's having to bend off Mark Healy for the time being. But it's a super start from Harrison Duskett to get into the lead by the beginning of lap 2. And will he be able to pull away before we start seeing pit stops? Well, given that we've got pit stops involved in this, he can afford to try and pull out a gap, take some life out those tyres before he needs to pit in.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see there just off the nose of Mark Healy. Through the right-hander we go. Is he going to be able to manage this one at the moment? Hard on the brakes through the left-hander. Now it's going to be a double left again. It's going to be interesting to see how he can get on here. Can he hold on to the guys in front, Mark Healy? Is he going to be able to close down on them? Into turn 17 we go to complete another lap. You can see at the moment Jay Dixon leading the way in the silver class. He's got Darren Fahey tucked up right behind him. Tom Donoghue in the mix at the same time. Let's try and catch up with some of what went on at the beginning. It was a little bit mental from the opening beginning of the race. Now this is Jackson Rihanna's. This is the most bizarrest incident I've ever seen. Rihanna there in that green machine. You can see he just gets a tap, goes round, rear wing pops off. I think that was Scotty Bartain that did something to him there as well. And unfortunately Rihanna goes off the circuit and is going to struggle to get back on again. Tristan McLaren, also another one. He's had problems on lap number 1. You see him left, well, the right-hand side there, 3 wide. Oh, dude, you missed your braking point.
That's clumsy.
Yeah, the guy in the green missed his braking point straight into the side of Tristan McLaren. That also brought up, I believe this was Alex Stevens, Charles Bray, and last season's silver winner, Will Wright. You see there, who was that green car? I'll have to do some research, but they also got tagged there as well. You can see them all going round, just nowhere to go. Matt Tesorio also got caught up in lap 1 incident. Scotty Bartain went off the circuit, last season's champion. He went off and unfortunately dropped all the way down the order, and I believe that may have been Scotty trying to wait for Jackson Rihanna there to see if Rihanna can recover. Yeah, I think that may have been him trying to let him back through there as well. But unfortunately for Rihanna, he did not get back through. He's now a lap down. Scotty Bartain all the way down at the bottom. But whoever that green car was, I think there could be a penalty incoming for him.
Well, that someone did get a penalty. I think it was like car 10 that got a penalty for racing rules. I'm trying to see who that is. I think it was car 10. It might have been a 10-second time penalty.
Yeah, 10-second cards penalty for car 56, which was Jamie Welsh. So he's been a naughty boy. He's going to have a 10-second penalty there at the same time. Charles Bray, unfortunately, looks like he's just made a little bit of an incident at the same time for himself, for poor old Charles. So we'll have a look and see what he's got himself onto. Caught the curb. And unfortunately for Charles, around he has gone. So there we go. For Danny Byrne, Dylan De Bono, top 5 at the moment. Both of these cars, Dan Byrne up 6 places. Dylan up 3 with Craig Edwards up 5 as well. A lot of gainers and losers over this first lap.
Yeah, and you could just see the amount of positions every driver has gained. Well, Dixon's got 10 places, as has Pocock, and now we've got Butterill up what was 12, now 11, because Vella's gone through from the pit lane up to 20th position, James. So he's coming through the field rather nicely, keeping out of everyone else's incidents. And he's going to be one to look out for between now and the checkered flag.
Yeah, Phil Vella there, coming started from pit lane, of course. Now he's going on trying to chase Tristan McLaren. Poor Charles, what did I do? Good evening, Mr. Charles Kellerman. How are you? Or good morning, I should say. Hope you are well. Long time no speak there. Thanks so much for joining us for some super Formula Light manic action here as well from the FDL. But lots of racing still to come here at the same time. 38 minutes on the clock at the moment. And that's what they've got left. Don't forget, pit stops are going to play a part in this. Giuliano Sinesi currently at the moment, he's tucked in once again, right in behind Aidan Coote here with Craig Edwards. If Aidan Coote's name is right, I do find that quite amazing. It's Team Tinky Winky. There we go, in the purple Teletubbies livery machine. Looks awesome.
As the race continues to progress, we're now on lap 5, and Dusky, well, his margin over Davison is 8 tenths, and it's Hilly in third, and Byrne, who has dropped back from the top 3, so there is a bit of a gap beginning to stretch out. It's almost like Davison and Hilly are in their own league as we speak. Like we say, there's still the pit stops to come later here at the Bend. 45-minute feature this week, and it'll be sprints next for the next round of the championship. But there we look at Harrison Dusky. There is Danny Davidson and Mark Hilly, your top 3. And Vella, who is still in 20th place, but he has got a little bit of ground to make up on Tristan McLaren, who is one of those in the silver class, so he may not make it that hard for Phil Vella, who's coming through.
Yeah, he is at the moment. Dylan De Bono has got Craig Edwards crawling all over the back of him. Edwards has got Sinesi in behind that. Sinesi's got Aidan Coote tucked up right behind there as well. There's a lot of action still to come here. Does look like Marcus Knizner's had some form of drama. He's just gone off the race circuit as well. But at the moment, Jay Dixon still leading the way in that silver class. You can see the splits on the left-hand side. Dixon, Fahey, Roberts. Roberts is battling Fahey, but we've got De Bono, Edwards, Sinesi and Coote all battling out here once again as they're continuing to fight out for this 5th and 6th place. Edwards on the right-hand side coming down into turn 1 at the moment. Is he going to be able to make this through? He does, Edwards. De Bono gives him bucket loads of room there, Tom, and just says, well, not challenging you yet.
Yeah, he made it too easy there. I don't know if he's just conscious of the cars behind, because when you start battling with drivers like that into turn 1 at a slow corner of the circuit or a fast section, or it's like a medium speed section, that particular part of the course, as soon as you start fighting, you then just lose ground and you allow the field that's bunching up behind to close in. And that was what De Bono was thinking about, playing the long game. But now Edwards has been let through, and we've got a time penalty for car number 1 in the field. That has to be who's just
Scotty Bartain.
Yeah, Scott Bartain. Yeah, he's been given a 20-second time penalty for, I would assume, for the incident at turn 1.
Yeah, I would assume so too as well, after that hit up Jackson Rihanna's rear end. And unfortunately for him, he has copped a penalty there as well. Donald, hey JB, Donald here, missed you last Thursday. Yeah, sorry dude, I wasn't here, mate. I was at a racetrack. There wasn't a lot I was able to do on that one. Unfortunately, I was at a race circuit. So, well, I wasn't at a, I suppose Santa Pod is a drag strip, I should say. I was there with my son. So unfortunately, mate, I wasn't about. But let's see how Dylan De Bono gets in with Craig Edwards through the right hand. We go. Final corner now on the run down into turn number 1. What sort of speeds are they going to get here, these guys? You see on the right hand side at this moment in time, topping north of 150 mile an hour. It's going to tuck in right behind him. De Bono, doors wide open, son. It's all yours. It's all yours. Get it stopped down into turn 1. He does get it stopped. He's got the apex for 2 as well. Through 3 he goes here, Tom. Nice pass from Dylan, and he managed to grab the apex in 2 as well.
Yeah, and now he needs to use this opportunity to pull away and allow Edwards to just be in the fight with the likes of Sanesi and Coots, who are coming through. They're going through this left-hander here. There is Coot in the purple liveried machine on the inside. Is that turn 6? Yeah, he's going through on Sanesi into what looks like 7th place almost, but he's gone a little too deep into the right-hander that's just followed. Yeah,
you almost got 2 for 1 there for Sanesi. Through 8, 9 and 10 we go. That triple right-hander now into the left-hander of 11. It's going to be interesting to see where these guys get on now on that run down from turn 12 into 13. And at the moment, Coot can't go forward anymore. Through 13 we go. It's a double left-hander of 14 in front of us. There goes one part of it into 15. The next part left as well. Now coming in, he's going to be a slight little kick to the right of 16. There we go. Into 17. He's coming hard on the brakes just before the 50. Bang. There he goes. Lock up. Oh, Sanesi. Big old puff of smoke. Aiden Coot having to react there, Tom. And literally could have found himself in trouble.
Yeah, and when you see someone lock up like that, you have this instant reaction where you have to slam on the brakes so much, you end up locking the rear wheels, which could bring the car around. So Coop did very well to cope in that moment. And Sanesi, well, I would expect Sanesi to make a few more lockups or miss his apex there, because it looks like he's just not having the best time of it. I don't know if it's the turbulent air of the car in front or where it's just the fact that he's struggling. Well, I can tell you Aiden Coop's most certainly struggling, because he's run wide on the exit of turn 2, and that's going to allow Douglas Goins to be in the fray to take the position away. He's on the inside into turn 6. There goes Douglas Goins, and that's a position game for him. Sanesi Coot down another position.
Yeah, Dougie Goins known to us in multiple different series that we do here on JBB. We call him the grandpa because he is old. There as well, that went out on his own. He was part of the team of Dylan De Bono with Velocity SimLab. Made a choice to go out on his own for FTR in full throttle racing. Now back enjoying the driving again. No pressures are being involved in Velocity either. There's no bad blood. There was no bad split. It was just Dougie Gowans wanting to take a break from Velocity. Is now driving for FTR here without having any issues whatsoever. Doing a great job. It's the old grandpa himself. Up 5 places, sitting in 8th at the moment. Aiden Coot is there. Jay Dixon leading the silver class by quite a margin at this moment in time. And he's sitting in 10th, up 10 places for Jay Dixon. That is a gain and a half, Tom, over the first, 13 minutes of the race.
Yeah, it's done a superb job. We're starting to see pit stop. It looks like Aiden Coot has had enough of the tyres that he has had, so we'll get some fuel put in. He's the first coach to see it. Phil Feller also taking the opportunity to head into pit road. He's going to be putting on some fuel, so we expect to see 2 pit stops, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a few be that ambitious, James, and make the one work.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling people are at some points going to try this. I've got the funny feeling that they are going to try these one stops. It's an obvious thing. Aiden Coot, Vella, Leretti, Parks, Bruce Kiley, Damien Cairns, Charles Bray, all in pit lane. Tessa Rios in pit lane. Somebody somewhere, I think, is going to have a go here. This is the thing at this point, and I think it's going to come anybody around. To be honest with you, I think the bottom end of the pros at the moment, like Tom Donoghue, like Brodie McConkey, they've all got the option to try it because they're driving around on their own for a lot of this opening race. So you might as well have a go, hadn't you, and try and fuel save something in the process.
We'll just see the field settling down a little bit more as we head towards more of the pit stops here. There will be more pit stops by the end of this lap. I think that's just so that no driver, gets released back into the path of someone or has to hold in the box to make sure they don't get released into the path for someone else. But we are seeing
leaders are in.
pit stops over. Yeah, top 3 all in.
Well, Burns going to go in as well. Craig Edwards, Senesi, Dougie Gowans is going on. Senesi's carried on. TD carries on, which is what I said. Knitz is in, Brody's in, Peter Ziedler's in, Madden, what are you going to do? Oh, guess what? You're in. Tristan McLaren is the next one. He's going to go in as well. Will Ryan goes in. What about Mr. Bottrell? He's one of the ones who hasn't pitted. He's in. Nathan Verney. Is this going to be a whole top half in this pit stops? It is. Andrew Linden is also going to come in. No, he doesn't come in. He does come in. Sorry, does Andrew Linden there as well. So it's TD and Giuliano Senesi who have stayed out there once again on the opening stint of this race. Tom Donoghue sitting in second. Dusky comes out not far behind Davidson. Mark Hilly still where they were. Danny Byrne, Craig Edwards, Dylan De Bono all in the mix. De Bono's lost time in the pit lane there. I'm sure he was up in 5th at one point, and that could have something to do with a 6.4 second stop, while everybody else in front of him there, Tom, has been around 5.
Yeah, I'm just working out the pit stop times that had. Well, one that had a really slow one, or one of which was Ethan Morris. He didn't have a very good pit stop compared to the others, and neither did Brody McConkey. He's lost time in that. And Giuliano Senesi staying out. Is he going to try and make the one-stop work, or is it the fact that he's going to remain out there for one more lap? We'll see soon enough when he comes round the last corner. You could just see the meter boards there, which must mean he's going through the last corner now, and he is pitting in this time. Yeah,
what about Thomas Donoghue? Is he going to go in as well? He is, right. That's going to give track bragging here as well to Mr. Harrison Dusky. Now, the question will be, how quickly are these guys going to get in and out? They had no distractions going in pit lane. There was about 15 of them went in on the Dusky pit stop. So these guys have not yet got to the boxes. Senesi has now, through the right-hander of 18, 5 seconds. You should be on your bike, son. He is Giuliano Senesi. Where is he going to be in conjunction with Harrison Dusky? He has lost the position, has Senesi, but is he going to come out? He's still not out of pit lane. Long old pit lane. Is he going to come out in front of Danny Byrne? No. Craig Edwards? No. What about Dylan De Bono? It's going to be close for Senesi. De Bono just going to get him on the entrance down into turn 1. Senesi up 5, sitting in 7th with Aidan Coote. Dougie Gowans in behind him. But that was always the chance that Senesi and Tom Donoghue took there, Tom, was to try and jump the guys in front. But it's such a long pit lane that they couldn't get out in front of him.
Yeah, well, no one's trying the one-stop then. Let's conclude to that. And Dusky, well, he's got a lead of 6/10 over Davison, which may sound like it's a very small margin, but Dusky has been in complete control since he overtook Danny Davison on the second lap. And, well, I think it's going to come down to, well, who is prepared to try and maybe perform the undercut, because we didn't really take note of how effective the undercut is around here. But I think we'll see soon enough in the second round pit stop. So it's Dusky who leads ahead of Davison and Hilly. Then it's Edwards in 4th place ahead of De Bono. Senesi's got past Byrne now into 6th place.
Yeah, Giuliano Senesi and Danny Byrne there from the Carlins Motorsport guy as well. Normally runs with David Gallo. Gallo has been moving house as well. So I know there's some delay on David getting back on the racetrack once again, but Danny Byrne, Giuliano Senesi having a right little ding-dong a little bit further down through the turn 17, I believe they're at the moment, into the right-hander of 18. Over that crest they go just about there. These guys running down into turn 1 again. Danny Byrne now tucked in right behind him as well. Is Senesi going to make it easy for him? Senesi takes the inside. Byrne's got to run the outside if he's going to. Through 1, they're going to be side by side. This is going to give Byrne the inside for 2. Gets the job done. Danny Byrne, take a bow, son, because he hit the apex of 2 there, Tom, as well. And it seems like, to be honest, the outside of 1 is a lot better than the inside.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, because when you're on the racing line as you head into 2, you've got the high ground automatically as you go around the outside, providing you have got your car at least within, well, basically rear front axle to front axle, if you see what I mean, level pegging, if you want to put it in those words. That gives you the advantage going into turn number 2, and that's why Byrne was able to complete that move ever so sweetly. Senesi, well, he's got his work cut out to try and make his way back through. Phil Vella, who we spoke about earlier, who qualified third before starting on the pit lane for essentially being a bit of a naughty boy on circuit, he is running in 16th position behind Ziedler, who is 1.5 seconds clear of him. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Vella get by all of the silver drivers first before the checker flag.
Yeah. Right, in conjunction with that question, George, there as well in YouTube chat, what do the drivers get for winning the series? Is there a prize? There is. They get trophies for winning classes and also free entry into next season. So they get trophies and free entry into next season. So I hope that clarifies that one for you there as well. As we can see on the left-hand side at the moment, let's pick up on the group situation. Dixon, ooh, you are in a little bit of a battle with Roberts closing in behind you there, sir. It's going to be interesting to see how Dave Roberts gets on here, whether or not he's going to be able to get through and close up on him and take that win in the silvers. Darren Fahey and Marcus Knitzer's there. How's Will Ryan getting on, the last season's winner? Will Ryan, he is in 19th, 12th in class at this moment in time as well. It was always going to be a steep learning curve, Tom, I think, for anybody. Ooh, Dougie Gowans and Aidan Coote nearly hitting each other there. Gowans takes the inside. Great job from Dougie Gowans there. It's always difficult for the man being promoted because they were always sort of fast in theirs, but then they're going to enter into a different category, aren't they? You know, if we look at Will Ryan 3.1 IR, but then we got Harrison Dusky 3.9, Edwards 5.7. You know, it's going to be very difficult for them.
It is, because you know you've been doing really well in the silver, but going up into gold, it's a different ball game really, because you've got all those who are extremely talented. Not to mention Harrison Dusky, who is a Formula 4 driver these days. He's going remarkably well, but they've got an awful lot to learn in terms of how they tackle the circuits compared to maybe how they used to at silver. Having said that, the lap times are very, very close between the whole field, more or less. So it could just be that, you know, let the driving speak rather than just manually, you know, tackle the corners in a different way. If you just allow the car to smoothly drive through, then that will be what does the talking without you really noticing how fast you can actually go. As we see Aidan Coote heading through on Dougie Gowans into turn number 1. He is through into P8. Sneezy's got past Byrne as well at the same time into 6th position. But it looks like Davison is not leaving Dusky alone. He's still within that second range, which could prove to be critical come the second round of pit stops, which we expect to come in around 7 to 8 minutes time.
Yeah, and also, if I'm not mistaken, in front of Harrison Dusky, there's a back marker of Matt Tesario and Jackson Rayana. So this could be an interesting one, how Dusky is going to deal with these. There's Jackson Rayana there. And then Tesario's further up the road, but Harrison at the moment is going to have his work cut out because he's got to try and muster back markers at the same time there as well. So we're going to find out how this one's going to go for Harrison. Is he going to be able to clear the back marker, Jackson Rayano, who is no slouch in this car? I don't think he's going to cause any problems whatsoever, so I'll be looking forward to seeing that one. I am also looking forward to seeing this because Dave Roberts has closed onto the back of Jay Dixon here, Tom, and this is for the fight at the front of the silvers.
Yep, a very, very big battle going on between Dixon and Roberts as they come out of that right-hander there of turn 13, I believe, or 15 rather. And, well, this is 17 now, and the last corner of 18 before the pit straight. But Roberts is just keeping Dixon honest here. It is less than a second between the pair as he makes the most of the toe down this long pit straight here at the bend in Australia. But at the moment, no change between those two. Tom Donahue, who's behind Roberts, he's essentially 10th in the gold class as Welch comes back in to the pit lane, as does Scott Bartain.
Yeah, we're going to find out if these guys, how these guys are going to get on here as well, and see what goes on with them, see whether or not they're going to be able to climb up the order. So let's see how they do and whether or not Dave Roberts is going to be able to take that win in that silver class here, or is Mr. Jay Dixon going to get him? Giuliano Sinesi is now with Danny Byrne again. These guys having a right little ding-dong further back here, Tom, and kind of making it interesting. Oh! Who was that? Was that Damien Cairns? No, it wasn't. It was Peter Ziegler, I think. But this is Cairns going off the racetrack as well.
So,
just runs
yeah, he's
wide.
Runs wide, yeah. And this is Ziegler further up ahead who had that spin.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
he was.
Where was
I don't
he
know what he
going?
was trying. I don't know. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish there, running wide like that. But you know, the curbs are going to come at him, and if there's one place you don't want to run wide at, it's there. And so he survives that. Only a couple of retirements so far in this race. I think McConkey's one of them, and one of which from the silver class. That would have been. Oh, who would have been? Was that Loretti? Because I think Loretti came in, but I think he's back on circuit now anyway. But McConkey is still not circulating around the circuit anyhow. But they've all behaved more or less well in this one, James, I have to say.
Yeah, what did he get himself up to here? Hold on. What did he do here on lap 10? Brodie McConkey. Put him straight in pit lane. Oh, dude, is he going to stop that?
No.
Yeah, but he has run into the shadow realm. And then he goes in the pits. He left the pits, then entered the pits and never came back out again. So I'm not entirely sure what Brodie McConkey did there, guys, unfortunately for that one. I can't give you any more information than that. He went in, he went out, and then never come back out again. So if anybody's got an update on what Brodie did, that'd be great. There's the supporters here as well. Sinesi and Byrne still fighting out. Marcus Knitzer is having a go at Darren Fahey. This is for the final podium spot in the silver class. Is he going to be able to get through? There's a lot of Teletubby cars on the racetrack, or is that just me this season?
I'll let you decide on that one. As we see Darren Fahey in the Kittens DFR livery. It's a nice livery, I have to say, going through.
I do wonder if some people have not changed team names here, Tom.
Yeah.
Being that Darren Fahey is in the Teletubbies car, and DFR's livery last season was completely different to the one that he's rocking now. So the likes of him, I think him and Aidan Coote and Phil Vella have teamed up, but they just have not changed their names, team names on the timing software, which causes me a little bit of a problem. So if you don't change your team names, gentlemen, you will be in your old teams, as you can see, like Aidan Coote, Team Tinky Winky. That would be amazing if you can do that for me, if you do watch this back as well. Brodie got tyres in the stop, spun it on cold tyres, and also had a 40-second hold for speed. Was that going into the pits? Tommy?
I don't know whether he's actually gone into the pit lane or whether there's gone. We'll see soon enough. I don't know if there's any notices on race control in terms of penalties that have been given out in relation to that. We'll see what he did. This is Brodie McConkey.
Yeah, I think this is going into pit lane. I do wonder whether or not he spun it in pit lane. No. Yeah, on pit entry. Which pit entry? So it ain't that one. So he's left there.
I wonder if he was speeding in the pit lane. Maybe at the pit entry line, he gone a little bit too quickly. So maybe look at his onboard or something, James. That might answer your question. He seems to have stopped fine.
Stopped fine there, didn't he? Strange. Stopped okay there. Very interesting. It's going to be a mystery, unfortunately, for us on this one. So there you go. See what goes on here. But yeah, at the moment, Dusky leading the way out in front with Danny Davidson in there. Dylan De Bono is now having a battle with Craig Edwards for the last 16 minutes. Dougie Gowans has got Aidan Coote. Dave Roberts has got ahead of Mr. Dixon finally, and has moved himself ahead of the silver class, and he's done a great job there from him as well. McConkey going in pit lane the first time. God, this is like a mystery. I feel like Miss Marple trying to find out what he's done here, but he's clearly been a little bit silly. Oh, bro. Right up behind him. He manages to get away with it there.
I wouldn't have gone in too quickly into pit entry though, James.
It's weird because he's been in, out, in and out, in and out. It's like, but other than that, he ain't done anything wrong. So I don't really know, dude, to be honest with you, Tom. I can't really find this. So I'm not quite sure what he's done here. Did he hit the brakes quick enough here? Get it down. Oh, just about, I think. It's going to be interesting anyway. We'll have to find out where that is. I'll try and have a look back. Craig Edwards first to the second stoppers in pit lane now. Phil Vella also in there. He's gone into 14th. He's jumped in pit lane. Jay Dixon and Tom Donoghue just swapped places. Donoghue's just gone through there. Darren Fahey has at the moment chasing down Danny Byrne in front. Second pit stop starting to happen, Tom.
Yeah, so we're going to see when Dusky, Davison and Hilly decide to come in. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Davison try and do an undercut on Dusky, but it's just depending on how much fuel he's got left, because Dusky will want to try and push Davison and Hilly to pit in on that same lap. As we see Fahey go through on the inside of Byrne by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But to no avail that time around. We'll see more pit stops in the near future, with the front runners looking like it's going to be 1, 2 and 3 there, but in what order, that is the question. And with 14 minutes still to go here at the bend for the opening round of the season.
Yeah, you can see the battles on the left-hand side. Sanese, De Bono, Fahey and Byrne. Everybody else is just a little bit further out. Dougie Gowans has got his own queue developing in behind him, but Dylan De Bono at the moment has got Giuliano Sanese tucked in right behind him here. Sanese doing a good job in through the right-hander of turn 18. Over they go. Bono pulls in. Sanese can go longer because he pitted later. Is this going to be a little bit of a strategy for Sanese? Does he think he's going to be able to jump himself up a few places here?
Well, if he's got the advantage of staying out later, then he may well stay out later this time around again. He may even stretch out by another lap if he's lucky. So it could be the fact that he's got a couple of laps more tyres in there compared to most of the other drivers, which could play into his hands in the final few laps. And he's got track position. Let's not detract from the fact that he's got that. And now he can just use the advantage of just remaining out there, look after his tyres during the course of the next couple of laps, and then come in. And then we'll see what pace he's truly got in the remaining laps of this.
Yeah, keep an eye on what Sanese can do here. Davison, sorry. And Dusky still scrubbing it out up front there, half a second apart at the moment. Davidson there is sitting in that second place, coming in now to the left-hander we go. Is he going to be able to get anywhere near him? No. Then through the double left again. That's turn 14 and 15 through the kink of 16. Now into the right-hander of 17. Is this going to be a peel into the pits for Dusky, for Davidson? Big puff of smoke there. Into 18, this is going to be the deciding factor for Harrison Dusky and Danny Davidson. Is this going to be appealing? It is. Oh no, both of them are carried on there. I thought both were heading into pit lane, Tom.
Well, they remain out there for the time being, those three. So I don't know whether they've been saving fuel during the course of the second stint. There is Sanese further in the background. He's remaining out there. I think we could well see, these coming in on this lap, but it just depends on how far they can take it. So it's 136.3 for Husky, 136.3 for Davison, 136.5 for Mark Hilly on that last lap. So it looks pretty stagnant, these lap times that they've been posting. So we'll see what those on the new tyres are doing. I've lost track of where everyone is in terms of the pit stops, because well, we can see that De Bono and Edwards have done 2 stops now. So in terms of De Bono's lap time, I think De Bono is just done his out lap, actually, so that's hardly relevant.
Yeah, I also believe De Bono may have got a penalty, being for the fact that he had... Oh, no, it was 39 seconds. Sorry, I read the wrong line there as well. But Dave Roberts still leading the silver. Dixon in behind that, separated from Tom Donoghue. There is Tom. There is Dixon in behind, Harrison Dusky, and also now Davidson at the front end, coming around the last part of the racetrack. At this moment in time, in through 17 they go. Now coming down into 18. Is he going to be able to get Dusky's going to duck in, is he? Nope, he isn't. What about Davidson? Carries on as well. While Mark Healy carries on again. Giuliano Sinesi's going to be the next one. If Sinesi pits here, Tom, he clearly didn't make this stint work for him because he didn't, and he carried on again. Tom Donoghue, Dave Roberts are out on the racetrack. They're having a nice little battle with Aidan Coote.
Well, they've got pit stop over for Aidan Coote as he enters the pit lane. Who else is going to try and make this work? Well, I'm amazed actually they've been able to stretch out this second stint because we'd have thought we'd see a lot more pit stops by now. But there goes Tom Donoghue attempting to get by the man running in 6th place in this one, Dave Roberts, who is the leader of the silver drivers for the time being. As we enter the last 10 minutes here of the bend, Will Ryan, who won the silver class last season, now a gold driver this season. He's in pit lane 2. Yeah, it's going to make for a really intense finale here because those that have pitted, are they going to be able to make up all the time on the leaders? My guess is going to be no, because Dusky, Davison and Healy built up such a margin that's probably too big for them, for those that have pitted in to make up in a few laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom there still in behind Dave Roberts. Dusky and Davidson still leading the way at the front of the field. You see we've only got 9 minutes to go. Is this going to be the one stopper that we thought that could possibly it would be, or is this going to turn into 2 stops at the moment? Let's see now. Dusky peels in, Davidson peels in. What's Mark Healy going to do? Oh, big puff of smoke for the guys there as well. Giuliano Sinesi is the one I want to watch. He pitted a lap later than these guys. Is he going to go round again? He is. What about Dougie Gowans? Is he going to go round? No, he dives in. Dave Roberts dives in. Tom Donoghue carries on, but that's because he pitted a lap later. Everybody else is diving in as well, and I think the dive-ins are going to stop down to where Dylan De Bono is, because I've got a funny feeling Marcus Knitzer, Scotty Pocock, Tristan McLaren are all going to dive into pit lane. There goes Pocock. What about McLaren? He's dived in as well. Knitzer is the next one. He's going to go in, so this is going to free up Dylan De Bono. It's going to be where De Bono's going to be after this cycle. You can see all the cars in front. He goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeps clearing Dixon, keeps clearing Douglas and Dougie Gowan, sorry, and comes out in just about front of Craig Edwards, who was there as well. Edwards gained position at the same time. Unfortunately for De Bono, he didn't get up to Mark Healy, but he did get up into 6th place, Tom.
Yeah, well, the fact that Sinesi and Donoghue have remained out there, which means they will only need less fuel to be added into the car, which should mean a shorter pit stop. We have seen pit stops of like 6-7 seconds, or 5 to 6 seconds, or some doing like 4 seconds. So it doesn't really make too much of a difference really for Sinesi and Donoghue in terms of the amount of fuel being put in. But I suppose with there being less cars needing to come into the pits now, it could give them a little bit of an advantage, but not the advantage that they had been desiring throughout the course of this one, as Phil Vella's gone up into the top 10 now, and he's on the tail of Aidan Coote.
Yeah, I do wonder how much fighting's going to take place here, because they are, judging by their liveries, being Team Tinky Winky, and also, who was the yellow one? Oh my God. Tinky Winky, yeah, I'm guessing that Phil Vella's in Team Lala. Sinesi and Donoghue in pit lane. That's going to, should give Dusky the lead of this race, with Danny Davidson there as well. Mark Healy should get through. At the same time, Sinesi's in pit lane, Donoghue's in pit lane. He's going to drop down the order, Sinesi, at this moment in time here. Peter Ziedler's in pit lane, Dave Roberts is in pit lane. Where did Sinesi come out? Sinesi's just about hanging on to 4th there, past another Teletubbies car, the green one. On that one. Tom, who's the green one?
Dipsy.
So I'm guessing that's Team Dipsy in front of us. As I said, it would be ideal if they could change the team name. That's Mr. Chris Swadling in front of us at the moment from Team... Oh, he has got Team Dipsy in his team name. So fair play to Chris on that one. See the move behind with De Bono and Edwards. Edwards just gone up inside De Bono there as well. So we're down to the last final 5 minutes. Pit stop's done. It's now a battle for the podium. Danny Davidson, Harrison Dusky, Mark Healy, Giuliano Sinesi, with Edwards and De Bono in behind them.
Well, DeBono's on the tail of Edwards as they come round the sweeping. I think that's turn 12 they've just gone through. That right-hander. Senezi's done very well to get up into 4th place, it has to be said. And now, can he use the tyres he's got now to really close in on Hilly, Davison and Dusky? Well, he hasn't got a lot of time left in this one. But Dusky is coming round the last corner. I think he's just completing his 24th lap and working out how many laps we've got left in this. I'd say we've got 4 more laps to go, James, in this.
Yeah, well, see how these guys get on and see what's going to happen towards the end here. Once again, 5 minutes to go. Harrison Dusky, Danny Davidson leading the gold class here. Jay Dixon leading the silvers. He's got Danny Burns separating him from Darren Fahey. There's Fahey in behind us. At the same time, changing for the team Tinky Winky. Dixon goes through on Coot. Danny Byrne sends it 3 wide. He's going to try and go around the outside here as well. Dan Byrne, is he going to be able to manage this and hold on to this position from Aidan Coot? He's got the inside for this one. Now on the outside for the next one. He's going to be on the outside all the way around the run here as well. He's going to have the inside for turn 5, which is the little kink they're going through now. Now he needs the inside for the hairpin of 6. Is he going to get it here as well? He is. He runs it in deep. He leaves Aidan Coot nowhere to go there, Tom. And for Danny Byrne, great job moving himself up.
Yeah, it was a nice move on the inside into turn 6. Aidan Coot just didn't have anything to respond. He's struggled on this second stint, I think, since, well, final stint, I should say, since he came in for that last pit stop. And that was easy picking for Danny Byrne to head through. The same for Jay Dixon. And now it's just settling down to the finish. Really, it looks like Dixon's got the silver win in his pocket, but we're looking at Coot and Byrne going wheel to wheel. Head into the right hand of that undulates, and now it looks like Byrne is just going to hold on for the time being. 7/10 still the margin between Dusky and Davison, which has been the case for most of this. Hilly's really dropped back from the top 2, and it looks like he's having to consign to a 3rd place finish today.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to really worry Mark Hilly too much on this one, but De Bono is in there in 6th place. This is Danny Byrne with Aidan Coot in behind. The gap up front has closed right down now, so this is going to be the final couple of laps here. I think there's going to be 1 and 1 more from these guys before we find out who's going to take the victory overall. Is it going to be a Dusky win? He's got in deep there, mind you. That's going to bring Davidson into play. The gap's dropped down by about 2 tenths. It's all going to be on this one, Tom. Can Harrison Dusky hold on to this?
Well, one driver who is flying right now, fastest driver on the circuit, is Phil Vella in 9th place. He just posted a new fastest up of the race, a 1:35.8, which is better than what Harrison Dusky had previously posted. But it is going to come down between Dusky and Davison. I think Dusky's going to do his utmost to hold on, but there are now back markers coming into play.
Yeah, there is at the moment. There's a couple in front of us, so you see them guys fighting out as well. Who are they? That's going to be the question. Is Stevens and Linden. They're fighting it out in front of us at the moment, and they've got to realise the leaders are coming through. It's going to be 2 minutes left on the clock very, very shortly. Is this going to be, I think it's still going to be 1 and 1 more here. They're going to clear over the line well in time. Barney's not waving the white flag, so it's going to be a 1 and 1 more battle here with Harrison Dusky and Danny Davidson.
1:35.9 for Davison, 1:36.1 for Dusky. And we just see the change there. I don't think that's a change for position. I think that was someone lapping someone else, actually, going through. But there we see the leaders coming through turn number 3 here. There goes the back marker out of the way. Davison now on the tail of Dusky. This is the closest he's been since Dusky got into the lead. And is he going to be able to hold on here? We'll see soon. Davison thought about going for it. He's trying to force him into a mistake. There was the lock up there and the slide from Dusky. This is the most vulnerable we've seen from him throughout the whole race, and it's not going to be long, I don't think, before Davison goes for it. It could be at turn 1 where Dusky got the move on lap 2.
Yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Danny Davidson in now into 17 they go. It's going to be the final corner very shortly. Dusky's on the defense. You can see him moving there, gets it back onto the racing line through the right-hander. Now it's going to be all about what Davidson is going to do. He's got the left coming up. It's going to be a final couple of corner run here for Danny Davidson through 15, through the kink of 16. Now coming to 17, he's going to close in with the draft again. We've got that long straightaway happening here as well. Now this is going to be the final call for Danny Davidson. Is this going to be his moment? Is this going to be his opportunity that he's going to get? Harrison Dusky, he's closed right in behind him now for Danny Davidson. Dusky goes on the defense on the inside. Davidson's going to try this outside line. It's going to be a side-by-side run down into turn one. Battle for the lead. Danny Davidson, Harrison Dusky. Dusky sent him in deep. Davidson's going to try to cut back, is he? No, he couldn't quite get in there, Tom. Is this going to be a final lap ding-dong where anything can happen?
Right, Dusky's got to go defensive, got to take the inside line into the left-hander. That is turn 6, but you can just see front wing and rear wheel banging there, almost contact between the pair of them as they go into the left-hander. Dusky locks up again, not the first time he's done that at that corner. And is that the chance for Davidson gone? We'll see soon enough. He might do it, maybe into the last corner if he's feeling very, very ambitious. But we'll see as the corners, they go through reduce between now and the checkered flag. Can Davidson snatch victory away from Harrison Dusky?
Yeah, through 12 they go now on the run down into 13. This is going to be another opportunity. Dusky's on the defense again. You see him moving there into 13. We go through the right-hander. It's 14 and 15, a double left to cope with. There goes 14. It's coming down to the final throw of the dice here for Davidson. Through 16 he goes on the run to 17. He tightens it up a little bit. He looks for the inside line. What's Dusky going to be able to do into 17? Dusky holds on. Now coming into 18 as well. He's going to try and get this. I think Dusky's going to hold on to this. I don't think Davidson's going to get an opportunity. Dusky's going to take the win. Dusky's going to take the win in the opening race of the season. Davidson could not get him. Mark Hilly's going to come over into third place there again. Now let's go down into silvers. I think it's going to be Dixon. He's going to wrap it up for the silver class. He's going to take the victory in silvers here as well. He's got 2 more corners to go. He's got 3 cars between him and Darren Fahey. Fahey looks like he's caught up behind a back marker. Dixon comes over the line. He takes that victory in silvers with Darren Fahey sitting in second place as well. Just couldn't quite get there as well. James Madden comes over the line in third. A great run from all of these guys as well. And for the opening race of the season, Tom, well, that was about as close as you can get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Harrison Dusky will hope it's a sign of things to come, not just in the virtual side of things, but also in the reality world in terms of his Formula 4 racing. Let's see if he can continue that form into next week. But a great drive from the top 3. Davison in second place ahead of Hilly, who dropped back, really, after being close to those top 2. I think he knew where he was going to end up and wanted to make sure he got points on the board. Sanese, it's a good effort to 4th. Let's be honest, he drove a really good race. He made the strategy work. He tried to do something that's slightly different. We've just seen, is that Pocock going over the line? I think he's been in the wars, actually, on that last lap, judging by the way his rear suspension had been behaving. I think he's had contact on that last lap, James.
Yeah, let me try and see if I can find that. Give me 2 seconds if Scotty Pocock has had some issues. He's been off track here. Oh, big old slide for Scotty. It's going to bump him around a bit. Oh,
yeah, he's had...
It's contact!
There's contact, but I wonder if he had contact beforehand. That contributed to him going off.
I think that's Scotty Bartain, you know. There he is on the bottom right-hand corner. And then Scotty just runs in wide and thumps him. And I wonder if that's where the suspension damage has come from. Let's bring you up the race results here, ready for the interviews, what we should be getting very, very shortly. And here are the results. Harrison Dusky takes the win in gold. Danny Davidson second and Mark Hilly. If we can get them free in for an interview, please, RC. Giuliano Sanese in 4th. Edwards 5th. Then DeBono and Dougie Gowans. Tom Donoghue takes 8th. Phil Vella in 9th. Great battle back from him. Jay Dixon, winner of the silver class, also in the booth, please, RC, with Dan Byrne and Aidan Coote in 11th and 12th. Then behind that is Darren Fahey, James Madden round out the podium for the silvers. Tristan McLaren, Will Ryan and Marcus Knitzer in behind them as well. Then Nicky Bottrell, Jake Rabillard, Jamie Welsh, Todd Park, Scotty Pocock, Nathan Verney, then Charles Bray and Scotty Bartain. Scotty did not have an opening defence very well of race number 1. Then behind that is Andrew Lydon, Jackson Rayana, Matt Tesseraia, Damien Cairns, Ethan Morris, Bruce Kelly, all finishing laps down. Dave Roberts 1 lap down, Stevens 1 lap down, Loretti, Swadlin, Zeda and Ackland 2 laps down. And then the final one there as well is Brady McConkey, who's 17 laps down, did not finish the race. So unfortunately for him, he is not going to be on the board for the opening one here as well. But let's start off going in order. Let's have a chat with third place man, Mr. Mark Hilly. Mark, welcome in, bud. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm always good. You know that, dude. Come on, at the end of the day. How was the racing out there, bro? Looked fun.
Yeah. There wasn't too much racing, just lapping. So boring from that point of view, but in terms of just pure consistency, I actually had a lot of fun. Yeah,
dude, it was a good one. Not bad opening up to the season. What do you think the season calendar this season is? The multiple different formats is going to play a part, I think, here as well. Could be an interesting one.
Yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward to the sprint races personally, because I just think these 45-minute races can get a bit like, we literally saw today. You just sort of end up following each other sometimes. Just thinking about fuel, which I sort of had a little issue at the end, so that's why my pace dropped off. But no, I think calendar-wise, it'll be really interesting having these shorter races where it's more about the racecraft than pure outright pace, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, dude, great opening up to the season. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Jackson Dial, he race engineered me today. It was a big help, big encouragement, so thanks to him.
Okay, mate. Well, take care, Mark, and we'll look forward to catching up with you next week.
Oh, you too, mate.
All right, next up in the order is Mr. Danny Davidson. Spent most of his race in second place, up 5 places, chasing down Mr. Harrison Dusky for literally the whole duration of the race. Danny, welcome in, son. How are you?
Oh, thanks, guys. Pretty worn out. It's a pretty tough track, sort of very busy. So yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was as well. And you and Harrison having a nice little battle for the opening run.
Yeah, I tried my best, pushing him to a flat out every lap. Pretty much the same pace. So the only chance was him making a mistake. And he kept it pretty clean, so awesome race.
Yeah, definitely was. Danny, what's the target for this season, mate?
To win the title. And win a lot of races.
Well, dude, to be fair, you're not off to a bad start, finishing in second. It's going to be interesting to see how you get on, mate. I'm going to be looking forward to this one. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just as usual, the organisers, and you guys are putting on a great broadcast every week. And yeah, look forward to next week.
All right, man. Well, take care, Danny, and enjoy yourself for this season.
Take it easy, guys. Thanks.
All right. Let's bring this man into the booth here as well, Mr. Douglas Gowans, coming in here. Didn't finish on the podium, Dougie. What are you doing here?
Well, I come first in the silver class.
Since when have you been silver? I've got you as gold.
Oh, no, silver.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, I got the message from Tom, and that's what it says on the schematics as well. S for silver. So here I am. just stayed out of trouble tonight. Saw the seas part a little bit, and just tried to be consistent. So yeah, that was good fun tonight.
All right, mate. Well, I had you at gold. Sorry, sir. I didn't do a dramatic entrance for you. You know what I mean? Like I normally do, Dougie.
I know, mate. I know, and I'm not overly disappointed by that fact either.
Oh, you missed them, really. Don't tell me you haven't got them on voices on your phone when the phone rings or anything, Dougie. Come on.
That'd be cool, eh? That'd be a cool ringtone, I reckon.
It would be, absolutely. I do agree with you, mate. All right, now we know you're in silver. Are we going for... Chris Swadlin said you're actually in S, which means you're in the seniors class.
I'm going to kill him.
I don't think it's too far wrong from that one, Dougie, to be blatantly honest with mate, do you?
No. He's really not too far wrong, to be honest. Yeah. Look, I'm in the class where I should be. Yeah, you're looking through the field with those gold drivers, and there's just such an exceptional amount of talent there. I got lucky tonight. I just stayed consistent. I saw incidents happen ahead of me. I avoided them, and that's all it was about, mate. It was just trying to stay on track tonight. The track itself is an awesome track for this car. Some really technical parts of the track and some really tricky parts. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed it tonight.
Good job, mate. Well done to you, fella. I look forward to seeing how you get on in the seniors class this season. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Well, I'm not shouting out the Scott Poke, I can tell you that right now.
Or Chris Swadlin, either one.
Oh, it was Chris, was it?
Yeah, it was Chris.
Chris too. Yeah, Bugger Chris too. Yeah, God bless him. You know, I love to have fun with them all, and they all know I'm an old bastard, so here we are.
Absolutely. Well, mate, good job, fella. As I said, anyone you want to shout before we let you go?
No, just to Tom, for the league and Player One Sim Gear, you guys for doing the broadcast in RC tonight. And just another quick thing I'd like to touch on. I'm so happy that FDL is going to be joining the Australian Open World Nationals. 3 leagues battling it out on track. It's going to be friggin' awesome. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be fun as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get to interview Tom in the Australian Open World. I was having enough problems to deal with there, Dougie.
All good, mate. All good.
All right, man. Well, you take care, fella. I'll catch up with you soon.
Will do, champ. See you later.
See you
guys.
later, mate. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner here as well. Mr. Harrison Dusky is going to probably tell me, and I've turned around and called his name wrong. So, Harrison, welcome into the booth, dear sir. Hope you are fine. How are you for you're opening your victory run there?
Sorry, say that again. I mucked up the join in.
All right, mate. No worries.
Sorry.
That's all right. First off, confirm how you say your last name.
Harrison Dusky.
That's fine. I got that right all the way through the race. I don't feel so bad now. Thank you very much, Harrison. How was it out there, dude? You had a right little ding dong, moving up from 6th into 5th into 1st, and then battling Danny Davidson for the rest of the race.
Yeah, it was very close race. I think I got quite lucky at the start when those 2 people took each other out. And yeah, me and Danny were just cat and mouse the whole race. It was extended to a second and then 7/10 and then a second. It was very close.
Yeah, and then the final lap, you had a little bit of a slide on there, dear sir. Losing tyres?
Yeah, like I didn't change throughout the whole race, and yeah, my tyres just felt cooked. I was getting a bit tired myself, so lucky to hold on to it, I reckon.
Tired? Dude, what are you, like 60? Are you an old man? I'm pretty sure your Facebook page tells me otherwise, Harrison.
It's getting late. It's quarter past 9. It's my bedtime.
Oh, was it a school night? Spun down the lunchbox and laid out your school uniform for the morning.
Yeah, make my sandwich.
Get everything ready for you. Well, listen, dude, it's going to be interesting to see how you get on here as well, mate. Good luck, by the way, in your real life F4 racing. Hope that goes well for you.
Thank you.
Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just John Mundy for organising this whole league and the team, as well as my teammate Jules. Yeah, it's been good so far. Excited for the season.
Yeah, okay, man. Well, have a good one, fella, and we'll look forward to catching up with you soon.
See ya.
See ya.
Have a good one. Bye.
Well, there you go, Tom. Opening round done. And not a bad run at all for some of these guys.
I was going to ask Harrison what his plans for 2025 have been, considering his Formula 4 commitments. I'd have loved to know more about Harrison there. But I can leave that for another time. But it's been a good round overall here in the Bend. And it looks like the drivers behaved themselves on circuit. I thought, with there being so many cars on circuit, I'd have thought there'd been a few more incidents than what we had. But thankfully, they all behaved themselves very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Join us next week for Road Atlanta, guys, as well, as we go into a 15 and a 30 before we hit Road America for the next 45 minutes. Charles, take care, buddy. I look forward to catching up with you soon. Then on to Detroit, then Imola, Fuji, Bathurst, and then the finale at Silverstone for that hour-long race. So join us for that one. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for this evening. I've been JP. I've been alongside Tom Cairns. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.